Take all we got, we gon' make it. Show the world that I shine in our greatness. Keep it real, never gon' fake this. Till we make it, till we make it. Taking off, flying high like a spaceship. Take control, take a shot, what you waiting for? Keep it real, never gon' fake this. Till we make it, till we make it.
Alright, so what's up, y'all? Today we're gonna be doing the valve cover gasket up. The reason I'm doing it is because every time I drive the car, like more than 10 miles, 15 miles, I end up having like a oil burning smell when I get out of the car. So I'm pretty sure it hasn't been done. It's 160,000 miles on the car, so we're gonna do it today, and we're gonna go step by step. My mother is going to be my hands, and she has been messing with cars for probably my whole life, so she probably knows a little more about this than I do. So yeah. I'm gonna be doing a little bit of directing, and I got all of the gaskets, all of the tools, and a little bit of time. It should take, I don't know, maybe 4 hours to do it all. I don't know, we'll see.
Then this is all the gaskets from the plenum, pretty much from the top of the plenum to the bottom of the plenum. This is all the gaskets that you're gonna need. It's made by Ultra Power. And here's the part number, just in case you want to get the part number. I think this was like, I want to say like 26 bucks or something like that. It was fairly cheap, but everything's in here. I got it from rockauto.com. You do have to pay for shipping. So that's the reason that I went with the next item. And my next part is an Ultra Power, and it is the valve cover gaskets, what I'm actually going to be changing. Now, I wanted to go with a better brand, but I went with this brand just because shipping was cheaper, because it was coming from the same place, rather than getting two different products coming from two different places with more shipping. And I'm trying to do this as cheap as possible. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so first step is to the left of your engine bay should be your battery. Always take the negative side off of your battery before you mess with anything, because you could trip a ground wire, you could trip electrical, I mean there's all kind of stuff, and you do not want to get into electronical problems with your car, especially an Infiniti. Step number 2. Take your intake off. You want to take your intake from the filter all the way up to the throttle bodies off. Now, other people in videos and different videos, you see them take the throttle bodies off. Well, I don't have a throttle body gasket, and I don't want to break the seal, so I'm just going to take mine off with the throttle body attached to the plenum. That's your choice if you want to take it off or not. You know, you can do that or not, but we're just gonna do it that way. It's easier that way. You don't have to break the seal on the throttle bodies, and you can just put it all back together like that. So step number 3 would be to take off your plenum head. Now, like I said, I left my throttle body on because it's a lot easier. I don't have to break my seal, but there are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you have about 15 to maybe 16 bolts or so. Yeah, 16. So yeah, you have quite a few bolts. I see another one, 17. So yeah, about 20 bolts. And on the back side of the throttle body, you're gonna have a plug, and you're gonna have, I think it's 2 plugs and a hose, or 1 plug and a hose. Just make sure you take all that apart, so when you pull your plenum off, it's not attached to it, because it will be a pain in the butt. So yeah. Okay, once you get all the bolts out, it's time for the plenum to come off. Go ahead, babe. Pull it. Pick it up. Yeah. And walk it over there for me, please, and sit it upside down. But mine doesn't look too bad. I don't see a lot of oil residue, so It's not too bad. So yeah, she's gonna take off the next set of bolts, which would be right here down the middle. Now there is a bolt pattern to this, and I will post the bolt pattern up on the screen. And make sure that if you do have a plenum spacer, to get your these little washer thingies right here. You don't want to lose those. You need those. So yeah, we're gonna go from there. And then you have a couple of bolts around the edges like so, and from there it'll just pull out. All right, so this is where we have gotten so far. She has taken off the complete plenum, top and bottom, with a plenum spacer. Now this is the annoying part of the job, because you have to get all of these wires right here and on that side. All of those wires have to come off, because essentially they sit right on top of the valve cover gaskets. I mean the valve covers on both sides. So yeah, that's my next move. Take all those wire brackets loose and start getting after the spark plug coils and the spark plugs. And then while you're at it, you can inspect it, of course. And then in the middle here, I'm going to clean out my manifold just to get it looking a little better, looking a little cleaner. So we're gonna run to AutoZone so we can buy a shitload of degreaser, because we still have to clean the lower plenum, and we also have to clean the plenum spacer, and we have to clean the plenum. So we're gonna go get some degreaser, and we're back. All right, so my wife just went inside to start dinner, and this is where we're gonna stop. So this is actually day 2, and as you can see, we got the valve cover off on the driver's side. The passenger side, I have not gotten it off yet. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get those wires out the way. I think we're just gonna have her zip tie them like off to the side so they'll be out of her way. So yeah, we're just gonna clean it up with a razor blade around the edges and get some gasket maker on there, some RTV, and try to get this stuff back in the easiest way possible. So yeah, man, that's what it looks like with one side off. And just a few pointers. When you take this side off, make sure, as you can see right here, let me zoom in. Right there is where your oil dipstick goes. Make sure you take it out, because if you don't, you may break the oil stick. It's not a costly repair, but less money spent. Here's another one. When you're taking this valve cover off, make sure you be very careful with this. It is very stiff. It is supposed to be like a rubber material, plastic material, but I guess it's hardened over the years, and people say they crack. That's why it's folded over. Like I had my wife kind of fold it out of the way for just now until we can slide them off perfectly. Third point. So my third point is, I actually did some research and found out that the valve cover gasket is like a 50-50 chance that that is your problem. And this is how you know. So a little trick that I was shown, and I guess, you know, I can pass the knowledge, but on the valve covers on both sides, this little tab right here, this little lip that sticks out, that looks like it's completely black full of oil, that is actually supposed to be clean silver, clean machine. Underneath it, it has, I forgot what it is, let me see. Yeah, it has some numbers on it. I don't know exactly what the numbers mean. I didn't look that far into it, but I don't know if you can see it now. So like I was saying, I don't know if you can read that, but right there,
It's not focusing. But you can see those numbers on the edge of that lip. When you do this job, make sure to clean that surface, because once the motor is all put back together, you can actually see this with the motor completely intact. And if it stays silver, then you know your valve cover is not leaking, because the valve cover, as you can see, the valve covers are actually not flat. They're actually at a slant. So the oil is gonna run down this way, and it'll run right there on that little lip. And if it's got oil on it, then you know you're leaking. If it has no oil and it's clean silver, well, then you know you're not leaking. But a lot of people say, oh, the valve cover gaskets go out on these things, you got to change them, that's why the oil consumption problem. Well, you can't fix the oil consumption problem. The only way to fix it is to tear the motor apart and do piston rings. And I'm not going to do that. Only reason I would see anybody doing that is if they built the motor. So just make sure you follow those 3 tips. And 4th tip, this is something I just learned last night. Those 3 ports right there have built-in gaskets on the bottom. And if those gaskets give way, well, then you cannot replace them. I just said, fuck it, for 50 bucks, I can get 2 brand new valve covers off of Amazon. So that's what I did. Or eBay. And that's pretty much what this car is, man. This whole car is a eBay build. I mean, from the headlights to that front bumper to the mods underneath the hood. I mean, the only thing that did not come, my red seats are eBay. My sticker was eBay. This back loafer was eBay. I have a couple other things like inside the car, the radio and stuff. That's a Boss radio. I mean, the paint, I painted the seats. I mean, this thing is literally a eBay build. I mean, I put everything together with just eBay parts, except for the wheels. The wheels came from Fitment Industries. Some people say that Fitment Industries is a joke and they wouldn't trust their wheels, and then some people say that they're the best wheels they ever bought. So yeah, that's the only thing that did not come from eBay. Besides that, everything else came from eBay. Just go ahead and, if you're gonna do all of this, you might as well just change it. Just change them. So yeah, this is it, man. We're gonna take off the other side and we're gonna wait probably tomorrow or day after tomorrow. We're gonna wait for the new valve covers to get here. When they do, we'll install and put it all back together, man, and it should be running very top notch. I'm like pretty much preparing for a tune.